This episode of the Awesome Hour is brought to you by Concept Beard Co. Put it in your beard. Beard oils and foams, handcrafted for the discerning gentleman. Go to conceptbeard.com and use awesome at checkout and save yourself 10%.
Hey, on tonight's show, we're joined by two-peat guest, only Gavin ever. You may remember him from 2 episodes ago. He's back. He's hanging out. He brought a friend, though. Tonight we got... Oh, let's do this right. We got the man about town, the architect of the Archer era.
Correct.
Did I say it right? I want to say era of Archer.
It is era of Archer.
That's what it...
call
Damn,
it
son of a
Archer
bitch.
era.
I fucked it up. We got Thaddeus Archer the third. Ivan, yes, I am a TA3 guy. Hit the drop.
Welcome to the Awesome Hour.
I am the smartest man alive!
This is the source for all the things you didn't or even want to know, including all our bad life choices and mistakes, so you can stay awesome.
The Awesome Hour.
Hey, what's up? I'm Alec.
Jean-Paul Ivan.
I'm Gavin.
And we're also joined by...
Thaddeus Archer III, the paragon of style, the guru of guile, the man whose suits drive all your mothers wild.
Do you know how hard it was to spit out that fucking... especially
I saw that.
I'm like,
Yeah.
but I got it out.
And you didn't get PWA correct.
You said PMA.
PMA.
Did I say
It's
PMA?
Yeah.
Well, positive mental
mental
attitude.
attitude.
Yeah, that's all right.
CM Punk fan over here. Anyways, Thad, Gavin, welcome back. I'm benching you to the side though tonight
all
because
good.
you brought this sexy motherfucker with you. Where do you get your suits, sir? That is number one on the docket.
I used to actually, for the longest time, it was a trade secret. I didn't want to let people know.
Then
Because
don't.
Yeah, but at the same time, I really want to get sponsored by the company I get most of my suits from. I know I probably won't through the podcast here, but
You never know.
This one right here. I mean, if you look, novelty suits up online.
Yeah.
Oppa Suits is sort of the biggest brand.
Yeah.
Lots of people wear it. Steve-O is a big fan of them. He wears a lot of them. A lot of my other suits, though, so the whole thing about the novelty suits, where it sort of began, was they were called bachelor party suits.
Okay.
And in England, a bunch of lads would get on their crazy suits and
Oi.
go have a bachelor party down at the pub.
Let's go drink some warm milk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of began there. There's places in the UK, and that's where I started getting my suits initially, was over the pond.
Balla.
And bring them in. And so, like, some of my suits I get from a place called Stag Suits in Germany and a couple other places, and I just kind of...
Couple Deutsches there.
I am always researching suits. Eventually, none of them are actually custom, even though I've claimed it numerous times.
Yeah.
But I eventually will get custom suits done, but I'm just waiting to find that right seamstress. That suits are ridiculously hard and time consuming.
100%.
So, like, I know girls or guys even that make all the wrestlers' gear.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, I might think of it. And then it's like, oh, suit patterns. It's easy to
mind.
make like a spandex unitard, but
Yeah.
a full suit with a tie. And like, that's my thing, is I have to have the jacket, the pants, the tie.
You're
Match it
looking
up.
good, though.
So, yeah.
Reminisce Jimmy Hart, maybe. Even,
Yes, yeah.
That you met, but we're going to get to that later. Hey, Thad. What's your origin story? Where do you come from? What's your story? You're the commish of the PWA Edmonton. I heard you just might have turned heel. We'll talk about that a little later. But where did you start from the grassroots to the top of the kingdom? How'd you get there?
Oh, that's a long storied history. Like I said before, I was bitten by a radioactive Don Cherry. And
That's weird.
And
But I like
sucker
it.
punched by bubbles, and it just kind of all came together.
It came
right?
together. I like it.
How I really started in wrestling, like, there's sort of 2 origin stories. So Thaddeus didn't, years and years ago, I didn't know how to get into wrestling, so I started a wrestling company that did backyard wrestling in a bar.
Were you a juggalo?
Not a juggalo. I listened to ICP. I had listened, but I've never painted my face.
Yet.
Yeah, I've watched Stranglemania 1 and 2 and lots of Juggalo Championship wrestling.
Some good wrestling,
yeah,
though.
no, there's some fun stuff, and there's some...
Yeah.
You should watch Stranglemania if you ever get a chance. It's
Yeah.
them doing commentary to old, like, Terry Funk, Mick Foley. Hardcore Japanese matches and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
The death
so it's like
matches, yeah.
it's like what is it? Cactus Sack and Drunk Terry Funk or something like that. And that's what they
Terry
call them.
Drunk.
Or yeah, or something like
Terry
that.
Drunk and Cactus
Just
Sack.
very suiting
Yeah.
if you think
So
about
I
it.
didn't know any better. I didn't know how to get into things properly. I always wanted to be part of wrestling, and so we did this. And at one point, I was playing a couple characters, and I was playing a masked character that did his own ring entrance.
Yeah.
So I'd grab it, and it was Mr. Anarchy, and I had an anarchy sign spray painted on my back and wearing a mask you couldn't tell my face.
That's punk rock, my friend.
And it looked sort of like a mix between punk and luchador. And I do, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Anarchy Productions proudly presents to you the soon-to-be EBW champion of the world. And then I'd rip off, that's of course Road Dogg, and then I'd rip off Mr. Anderson with Mr. Anarchy.
That's amazing.
Anarchy. And one of the people I was actually the ring announcer for a local actual wrestling company, saw me. He didn't want to be the ring announcer anymore. He wanted to move up and be the commissioner or general manager, so he had to go out and find a replacement for him. Brought me in as a ring announcer. So that's how I started actual professional wrestling, as a ring announcer. Did that for a while and just found that, like...
So the love of wrestling was always there.
Oh, always there. And I'm a closet wrestling fan. My father hated wrestling. So
really? Okay.
I never, sad to say this, I never had any of the merchandise. I never had the Stone Cold shirt. I was all through Hulk Hogan, straight through to, the Austin era. I never had any of that stuff because...
Never got to go to indie shows?
No, I grew up in a small town, and my dad would never have taken me to. Yeah, so never got to experience any of this, and when I, came to Edmonton...
You were just like, fuck it, I'm diving head first into this.
That's the thing, is I saw this metalhead guy that would, like, literally start fights in bars, but they were, like, stage fights, and they were doing promos, and that's why I was like, that's my ticket, and I jumped on and actually made a company out of it. And we even had a belt made by Wildcat Belts that makes all the WWE ones now, like the US and everything. We had, like, it was... Everything, yeah, but it was like Fight Club because there was a commission. Well, there is a commission, but wrestling's no longer a part of it. But the Edmonton Competitive Sports Commission was trying to find us, because we were doing this. It was legal, and then we were doing it with bars, and AGLC was trying to find us because we were doing it without a wrestling license from the Edmonton Competitive Sports Commission.
You guys were fucking badass.
Oh, it was fun. Like, but at the same time, looking back at it and what we were actually doing there, it wasn't wrestling. We weren't trained properly. The guy who did it had been to a heart camp and learned some stuff, and he was great, but we weren't doing real wrestling. You need the ring, and you need to learn how to fall properly.
You need to learn how to take a bump.
Yes, so I got to learn that through the company I was with. When I got into ring announcing, there was an opportunity to train before shows, or someone had a ring. Actually, Teddy Hart had a ring out at his place, so I go and learn because I wanted to learn. Because in my mind, I've always wanted to be a manager. It's such a nuanced sort of off the side role in wrestling, but it can be so important. And
no, you need it. Like when you have somebody like a Brock Lesnar, they need a Paul Heyman. I don't know if CM Punk needed a Paul Heyman, but Paul Heyman brought him in. He made him a thing. Top 3 managers in your opinion? Who are they?
And
we'll stick with WWF.
Oh no, I'll go across the board because I've researched them like crazy. Obviously, number 1 with me is always going to be Heenan. Bobby the Brain Heenan is number 1. I pattern some of what I do on him, even like when you watch just the way he would bump. That's you've got to be all out there because the manager's not going to get bumped or thrown around a lot. So when you do, you got to make it look like Godzilla just hit you. So Heenan, Heyman, or Paulie Dangerously. I was watching WCW. The Dangerous Alliance. That was my dad had just gotten TBS, he got cable, and this comes on. I'm like, there's a whole other wrestling. There's WCW, and there's Paul Heyman. Yeah, so that Paul Heyman, and then the last one is always tough for me. I'd probably have to say Jimmy Hart. Jim Cornette's in there, but sometimes Jimmy, man, I don't know.
Why didn't Paul Bear make it? I grew up a diehard Undertaker fan, so why not Paul Bear?
He'd be, you know what? Have you ever seen any of his Percy Pringle stuff?
No.
When his hair was dyed blonde and he was managing Stunning Steve Austin?
Yep.
Yeah, like he was a great manager. I have nothing against him. If I pattern or take anything, it'd be less from Paul Heyman and more from Percy Pringle.
Fair enough.
He'd be like in the top 10 for sure, though.
I guess Paul Heyman or Paul Bear is very niche.
Yeah, but in his own right, like to do that voice and to sell that character. And if you look at where he came from, and then all of a sudden it's like 180 and he's Paul Bear, it just blows your mind.
That's awesome. So Jimmy Hart, you got to meet him.
Yes.
How was that?
It was good.
As somebody who's a manager fanboy, as someone who wants to be the manager, how was that?
It was good. I wish I could have just sat and picked his brain more. You know, it was at an event and he'd just done the evening with Ric Flair and it was the end of the night and he had gone through everyone and I waited patiently and sort of hung around. So it was kind of right at the end. Just had basically a little talk with him. Said I'm a manager. He loved my style. I think I was wearing the suit.
I think you were wearing that one.
Yeah, the suit I'm wearing now. He loved it, but we didn't get I didn't get to pick his brain and ask him any questions. At the same time, to get to meet him and to watch him, when you watch him even up on stage, how old he is and everything, he never skips a beat. He still got it all. Like, he can just talk a mile a minute, and
He's still got
he's Jimmy, man.
it
He's not lost any of it.
It was nuts, like, because I was working with them that night, and like I had to drive Jimmy around to the sound check and then over to the dinner with Rick, and he's just so quiet and calm.
Yeah.
And then he gets a phone call. He's like, "Oh, excuse me here for a second," with his little southern accent, and he's like, "Okay," runs through the date, runs through whatever. And he just explodes and cuts this promo for a radio station.
He just turns it on like
he
that.
just turned it on. He's like, "Hey, it's Jimmy Hart, the mouth of the South, and you can catch me at the Monster Truck Show down at Put On wherever,
Yeah.
right?" And he's like, "Is that good enough for y'all? Okay, thank you." And that was it.
And then he's just quiet in the back again.
And then he's just like back to telling me stories about like going to Japan or just being around in the circuit or like coming up here with the Stampede circuit too, right? So he wasn't up here much, but like just hearing all these stories from him was really cool too. But like I wish Thad could have been in my spot there for that most of the day because
I
like,
would have.
Just like,
I would have
okay.
picked his
and
brain.
like he was cool
Thad,
enough
you
to
gotta-
do the promo.
You got to drive him
for,
around.
Eddie
You got to
Roode.
answer by Gavin.
Yeah.
Okay, your name is Gavin now.
Yeah, so
Dude,
Like-
that's amazing.
yeah, no, like and Jimmy cut that promo with Eddie Roode.
Yeah, there's one of the local wrestlers paid for a promo with Jimmy Hart. So
Hey man, we're all on Cameo now. So
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
be
yeah.
serious.
Hey, whatever. It's
but it
check
was fun
cleared, man.
because
Check
of
cleared,
another
it was
friend
fun.
of ours was sabotaging the promo in the background while it was happening. So it was beautiful. I love indie wrestling.
on both
That's
of them
awesome.
too, both takes.
Yes.
So as somebody who grew up loving wrestling but had to hide it, to dive full face into it, start your own thing, and now you're the commish of Edmonton for PWA.
Yes.
So you love independent. How long have you been in the Edmonton independent wrestling scene?
I think we're coming up at about a decade.
10 years,
Yeah,
eh?
almost.
The big X.
Yeah, I want to say 9, 10. I never keep track of things. I always like kick myself. I should write things down or
Yeah.
keep track of things. But I know, like, ring announcing include like when I got into actual independent.
Did you ref
professional
at one
wrestling.
point too?
Yeah, I put a picture up recently.
saw that, yeah.
So what would happen is when we work out of town shows,
'Kay.
like we go to Rimby or go to Red Deer or go somewhere else that sort of wasn't in the main circuit.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to do something different that night. Someone would want to try ring announcing, or there'd
Yeah.
be some local guy there that owns the Napa dealership that wants to be a ring announcer for a
Yeah.
night, but he's absolutely horrible because he's got no personality. So
He owns a Napa.
Yeah, he owns
Let's
a
be
Napa or
serious.
something. Or
He
he
sponsors
sells
the show
tractors.
and,
yeah.
so-
So whatever, they let him do that, and it was that night, someone said, "You want to be a ref?" And so through, I probably 5 times, maybe 10,
Yeah.
I was a referee, and I enjoyed it. But honestly, hardest job in pro wrestling.
Yeah, hey?
Hardest job in pro wrestling.
And why do you say that?
You don't realize what they have to do. You are the communication tool for everyone. Like, you communicate for the wrestlers between each other.
Yeah.
Like, if something's going to come up that's sort of big and they've kind of lost track in
Yeah.
their minds, because some guys can just call it as they go, and sometimes you grab a hold and you call it, and then sometimes you have something big coming up and you're on the other side of the ring. Well, the ref's checking on you. Go tell him this. Well,
Yeah.
the ref goes, checks on him, tells him that.
Oh,
You got to
okay.
remember all this. You got to be there. You got to be down and doing like a proper count. Like, in the process of just falling down kills you like over and over again. Like, I've seen refs wear knee pads underneath their pants and counting and making it like look dramatic. It's all on the ref.
Yeah.
And then if something's happening on the outside or you're going too long, the ring announcer or someone ringside is going to be talking to the ref saying, "Okay, go home, wrap it up." And
Yeah.
so like you're kind of essential to everything.
Yeah. Did you watch the Hot Ones with Stone Cold where he tells a story about how he shit himself?
Yes.
That was amazing.
I love those stories. Actually, my favorite is when Andre shit on Bam Bam Bigelow. Did you see that one? Bam
What?
Bam talking.
No.
It was Bam Bam. Just basically, Andre drank a lot.
Yeah.
And he just lost himself. Just let himself go. He sat on him, and
Not a whole lot to hide in that spandex.
No,
either.
and Bam Bam was never a big fan of Andre after that. But he's
No.
laughing in
No
the
shit.
clip. You have to, no shit, lots of shit.
Heyo.
Yeah.
And Andre the Giant size shit too. Like,
Right? That's like a fist size.
that's like a bucket.
So it was like drinking shit. So it was like diarrhea.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
hey?
yeah.
Okay, cool. So you've been in the circuit now 10 years. You've risen to the top. How did you become commish from the announcer? Is that just something that you actively pushed for until they finally said, "Thad, shut up, you're commish now"?
No,
Because you're
it's-
commish of Edmonton. Is there a commish of Calgary then too?
There is with PWA. There's
Can you explain PWA for those that aren't in the Edmonton,
So-
Alberta region?
Prairie Wrestling Alliance. I'm new to them actually. I just started with them in January.
Okay.
They've been around for 18 years. They
Yeah.
are sort of like the one company that sort of like Kurt that started PWA, he worked with Stampede in its dying days and worked with Bruce Hart and all them and sort of the road agent and helped book shows. So he took that, and with Stampede sort of waning, the last sort of, because Stampede had a lot of, after the big Stampede, there was a lot of little bits of Stampede.
Because if you look at independent wrestling, there's a lot of satellites, but no major, right? So how many different satellites, and would you say PWA would be the major in Alberta then?
Yeah, they're...
Prairie Wrestling Alliance.
Prairie Wrestling Alliance, yeah. They are sort of the echelon, like they're the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
Then there's a couple other companies that have been around for a while in their own right, like somewhere between like 15, 16 years, so not too far after that.
Yeah.
And that's Monster Pro Wrestling and RCW. And so I worked with RCW sort of from ring announcer to leaving them and then coming to PWA in January. So most of my time was actually with RCW.
Okay.
And then working with CWE, they're a promotion that Gavin actually just ring announced for them when they were in town. They're from Manitoba, very well established in Manitoba. They're sort of the big thing.
I think you told us a story about Honky Tonk Man and stuff.
Well, that was when I had done the booking for the festivals at Sonic Boom and all that, and that's when we
kind of mentioned them.
Partnered with it was MPW at the time when I was working with them, and then ended up using PWA guys in Calgary for X Fest.
Okay,
and that was a really cool change up on the roster too.
Yeah,
it was good times.
That's awesome. Okay, so you get your break with RCW.
Yeah.
Okay, and what does RCW stand for?
Real Canadian Wrestling.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, that's down here, then you would go to Monster, and then you want to go to, like, is there a tier, or
it's tough
like,
to say. It's for the longest time, like even I knew, being a performer, PWA was sort of the place to go.
Yeah.
Like, it was a place that held itself in the most professional fashion. It worked together with tons of people in the local media. It just sort of was like an institution. Monster was an institution in its own right. Like, they had quite a big time for a while there. Then it sort of waned. RCW sort of stepped in after they sort of had their big boom, and they were kind of like, trying to be diplomatic here, but they kind of like the renegades. Like, they came in because they were working all outside, and they finally got, like I said, there's a commission. They got a license with the commission, came in, and it's sort of like the Wild West with RCW. Just anything goes.
Yeah,
tons of people in and out the door. They book people from sort of anyone that's sort of coming through. They'll book them. So yeah, I'd say I it's hard to place like a number 2 and 3.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering if there was like steps you took to get
no,
to
there's
there.
there's no farm league.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair enough.
there should be in some ways, I feel, but we can get
somewhere
that
you can
later.
learn your bumps. Anyways, so you left RCW about a year and a half ago. You were saying. In what capacity did you leave them? Were you just Were you just the manager at that point for somebody?
I was.
And did you leave to become the commish, or did you have to make the transition? And was there any hard feelings? Because you spent a good chunk of change there, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's going to be like they're losing the dynamite that is Thad Archer.
Yeah.
So of course there's going to be hard feelings. But was it a hard transition for you, or was it like, see ya suckers, I'm going to the big leagues?
So. There's a lot. That's a big bag we're going to open up right now.
Let's open it up. No one listens to this podcast. Edmonton's #1 podcast.
Yeah, so somebody listens to it. But no, I was the general manager in the end there. So the commissioner, the commissioner title has been used a lot in wrestling. And at the time,
you're the Kurt Angle.
Yeah, and at the time,
Mick Foley.
Exactly. And at the time, they wanted to give me that role. I was actually asked, like, can you take this role? Because my bread and butter is managing. I love managing. And it got to a point that I didn't really have anyone to manage, and I came up with the Arch Report idea.
Okay.
And so I kind of was just doing that for a bit. And then I was still there, but like they wanted to do something with me more out in the ring.
Yeah.
So I was asked, do you want to take the authority role? And I deemed it the general manager instead of commissioner. There's nothing wrong with commissioner, just so I want to try something different at the time. So I was the general manager, and then right until I orchestrated my end. Like, there was, in my mind, not many people know, there was 6 months of build up there. So one of the things I wanted to do before I left was step down from the general manager role, because the storyline was not working out.
So did you have play in the storyline then?
Yeah, to some degree.
With your bigger, like your upper end, like your WWF, your AEW at this point, they have storylines, right?
Yeah.
So they have writers.
Yeah.
So are you back there with the guys? You're like, okay, let's write this. I want to do this. How does this work?
Well, there's
with
less
this?
like writers, and there's the booker.
Yeah.
Like in old-fashioned wrestling, there's the booker, and then sometimes there's a booking committee, and then sometimes there's people that are veterans that have says and like kind of talk and work around with it. With RCW, it's kind of the Wild Wild West. Sometimes you kind of come up with your own. phone, you propose it, and then there's egos and you work things out. And so, yeah, I had some say in how things were going, and like I was trying to provide input, but sometimes with people you kind of reach a brick wall.
Yeah.
And
creatively, we're not jiving.
Yeah, and what happened is they wanted me to go face, which I was never against, which I'd never done.
Yeah.
I'd never been a face, and so the way it happened,
to be a face manager I can only imagine it's not easy.
It's difficult,
right?
It's difficult because really, for the most part, a manager is always a heel and is providing that catalyst to help cheat to win, or like so the baby face or the good guy doesn't look bad because you helped your guy cheat to win. Whereas if your guy loses and you caused him that, he doesn't look weak because my stupid manager, blah blah blah, this and that, right? So.
That could be a slippery slope.
Yeah. So, but I was, like he was actually going to have me as like the face commissioner, general manager, and it happened it was supposed to happen in a match with Kevin Sullivan.
Okay.
Kevin Sullivan, the Taskmaster, WCW wrestler, and the way it was set up was that I had brought him in as a bounty on the owner's head.
Yeah.
And. Tell her to give him a bounty if he beat him, and then he's there beating him up in the ring, and he asked me for his bounty, and I have a tough time with this.
So the whole thing.
Yeah, well, it just made no sense. But I was supposed to, like he pops me because I'm not giving him the money he wants, and I fall to the floor. I'll tell you what really happened. So I fall to the floor, and then the other guy gets up, and instead of just beating each other up, they throw boots to me.
Yeah.
So you're like, so what would you expect happen if the evil commissioner got popped by the guy he hired?
Yeah.
And the guy he's been picking on. They both beat him down. What would you do in the crowd?
Oh, I'd cheer because you're getting yours.
They were supposed to boo
and
cheer boo Kevin Sullivan and the other guy, and cheer me. And I was supposed to turn. So we got through the curtain, and Kevin Sullivan, who has years of experience, goes, "Well, that didn't work." And so then I really knew, and so this was I had to get out of this role. And what I want to do is there's a team, a couple guys I've worked with, Gavin's worked with them for years, called Top Talent. Are
those the guys that make the funny ass videos, like the workout videos?
No, that's
they're wrestlers. I think it's a tag team I'm talking about. You've posted them on your Instagram.
Oh, Above Average Joes.
Oh, those guys.
Above Average Joes. Okay. Yeah. No, these guys, they do some funny stuff, some Memphis style stuff. They're weird. And I known them for years, and I'd been the manager of one, but never been the manager of the tag team. So for my last couple shows, I was their manager.
And that was fun.
And that was fun. Yeah, that was back to doing this again. It was great. But I knew throughout that was bittersweet because I knew myself, and no one really else knew that I was leaving.
So how do you leave? How do you say, hey, do you sit them down for coffee in a nice public place like Men in Black so they don't cause a scene? Buy them a slice of pie and say, hey, I'm out?
Hey, guys, I'm out.
Or what?
Sorry. Yeah. No, I and I feel bad for that too, but they
have a sip of water, man. You've been talking.
They understood.
I respect
They understood why I did what happened, why I did it. So basically, as the time came, I didn't work the last RCW show that was that month, right?
Yeah.
I just took it off because I just wanted to take a break. I had enough stuff in the can for the Archer Report to finish for the rest of the month.
Yeah.
And I basically came up with, on the last Archer Report that I had with RCW, it cut to me in front of the camera and just saying, I regret, I've had a lot of things going on in my life.
Yeah.
Things are really busy. I'm just going to take some time. I am officially leaving RCW. Thank you so much for everything you've done, all the years you've done for me, because I'm still super appreciative. Drama or anything, that was a family, that was a home, all the people that I worked with, I appreciate everything, including my good friend Squiggy Magoo, but and that's the promoter. That's the promoter, and so I did a heartfelt thank you, and I'm just like I'm leaving RCW, just so you know, and then it cuts, and then we had a beautifully crafted. Tell Me a Lie, Shawn Michaels. Do you know anything about that? Took all clips of me in the past and did a Tell Me a Lie video with me, because that was my biggest thing in my head. Is like, that's my goodbye.
That's how I'm gonna do it.
I got goosebumps thinking of it right now. So I was done with RCW, and everybody just thought, hey, he's taking some time off.
Yeah.
And this was Archer Reports comes out every Thursday, so this was on the Thursday. So I hadn't worked the last show. I hadn't told the promoter I was leaving. I announced I was leaving publicly online to everyone. Didn't bury the company or anything. Just talk nicely about it. And 2 days later, I walk out as a surprise for PWA.
Okay, before we get into PWA, you've now mentioned Archer Report a bunch.
Yeah.
You're not just this Dynamite manager, this voice. You also host 3 other shows.
Yeah.
Right? So you're also spinning other plates, but you've mentioned now the Archer Report a lot. Let our listeners know what the Archer Report is.
So the Archer Report is basically the closest thing that indie wrestling, or at least where I'm working, has to like a Raw.
Yeah.
We don't have TV here.
No.
But you want to keep people's interest, but people's interests aren't so big. Actually, best thing you can compare it to is being the Elite. In a way.
Fair enough.
So it's like
your webisodes
Yeah,
that
your
explain
webisodes.
your plot to the events.
Yeah, so if you miss a show, you can kind of go through 4 weeks of webisodes and see, okay, this is what happened. He lost this, that, this changed, that sort of thing.
Was this your brainchild, or was this as somebody approached you? Are you in character for these?
Oh,
Archer
absolutely.
reports?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. So how it started, going back to, like I said, I didn't have anyone to manage at the time. And as a manager, I want someone who wants to work with me. I'd been placed with just a lot of people and, randomly for a show and stuff. And I was at the point where I wanted to work with someone long form again and have like
You wanted your stable.
a relationship, and not even a stable, just a single guy or a
Yeah.
tag team or something, right? And there wasn't anything for that at the time. And in the company, they were doing a war for the company. So those gentlemen I mentioned before, Top Talent, they came back, and they had left in a very controversial fashion, like buried the company years prior. Hi, Metal.
What up?
He's going to give me hell for that because he never said anything wrong, yet he always gets placed as a person that buried the company. And I love you too, Jess. But so
the name of the episode 187 Metal buried the company. Okay.
No.
Okay.
We'll find something else. Trust me, another tidbit. So
I'm just
they were taking over the company, and I spoke with Heavy Metal, and I said to him, what am I going to do? Like, I feel like I took the summer off at the time, and I just said, I don't feel like there's anything for me. And I contemplated just leaving wrestling because taking a break, I was downtrodden by the whole thing. And he goes, well, right now we're doing this war for the company, and we have no one doing, like, backstage
telling the story.
interviews or anything like that, or even just, like, there for a promo. And he's like, what? We're having a war for the company. What if you're like a war correspondent? You're someone commenting on all these ins and outs that's happening with the company.
You're that gray-haired dude from CNN. What the fuck's his name? He's handsome as
Wolf
balls.
Blitzer? No.
No, the handsome one. He's new.
Don't watch CNN.
Sterling Silver. I have no idea. I don't watch CNN either, but we'll figure it out. I'm going to look it up.
He's gonna look it up. He kind of
Anderson Cooper.
Thank
Cooper.
you.
Thank you.
You knew who I was talking about all along. You're just like, I'm going to let him
I was like, wait,
say
wait.
some weird shit.
I kept thinking Wolf Blitzer too as soon as you said it though.
What is his mom?
yeah.
His mom,
I'm
like the
Wolf
heir to
Blitzer.
the Kraft fortune or some sort of fortune.
Yeah, mommy's got some money.
Big
Yeah.
money. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I can't remember what it is. But
Anyways.
I digress. So I started. He just gave me an idea to just do that and
Yeah.
nothing else. And I thought, okay, I'll try it. So I had my phone, and I'd literally like walk up to the guy and selfie style shoot like, hey, what are you doing? Like out of nowhere,
Yeah.
like just surprise a guy, like do this quick interview with him. And then it got to the point like people were enjoying that. And at the time it was just sort of Facebook videos, like I'd put them out one in here and there all over the place. And then we started like actually it just kept ballooning where like all the guys seemed interested in it and like, oh,
'Cause
this
it's
is
fun.
promo practice.
Totally.
Because we're not getting promo practice. We're in the ring, but we're not getting practice on promos. You go do a WWE tryout, they're gonna tell you right there on the spot, cut a promo on Tim Hortons coffee. You gotta do that and
I've
impress
watched
them.
Fighting with My Family. I think I know the inner workings
Yes,
of the wrestling industry, Thad. But
Sorry.
thank you for mansplaining.
Yes,
that.
and then it just kept like then we got a cameraman, and then I was like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, maybe we can make this a YouTube thing. So
So
that
how do you bring Gavin into this then?
Well, this is where the whole end of RCW happened. Is I had my partner in Paragon's Style Productions, Dave, amazing guy. He was doing all my editing. His 16-year-old son was being my camera guy, and he actually could get camera equipment and audio equipment from his work.
That's amazing.
And it'd take it for free. So like in return it. But so we were doing that. We were going. And when I left RCW, I was like, he had to stay in that company, and like
Yeah.
they weren't bringing him over, and he was a performer there and was doing a lot of their stuff. So I couldn't have him come to the shows, and I've had his son actually helped us with the big PWA anniversary or Night of Champions show
and
at
Hot Seat, he's always down.
yeah,
too.
they help us with like the non-wrestling stuff.
Yeah.
But I needed someone, and lo and behold, Gavin and I just started talking out of the blue. I think a mutual friend of ours that was a wrestler was passing, and he kind of gave me the eggie on it and said, like, so he's in hospice right now, you want to go see him? And went down, and we got to talking and
kind of hit it off.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, I want to work on my camera stuff more. I got this camera, and like I want to do photography and videography, and I have like this mind for it, and I wanted to do it.
How do you feel about Mark Twitchell? You know, shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, do you want to do this with me? He's like, I do. I'm like, did we just become best friends? He's like, yep. Yeah. So
awesome.
So he started doing all the PWA stuff for me, and credit to Gavin, like his camera technique is great. Like I love the shots and everything. We have a very like copacetic mind when it comes to how we visualize
That's awesome,
things.
Yeah.
So
it flows well. You work well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Peanut butter and jelly. Yeah. Mayonnaise and Skippy peanut butter. Look it up. It was a thing. Ugh. Anyways, so the Archer Report. That's awesome. That's telling that story. That's one facet of the three. But now we're going to get back into PWA. Okay. So you make your appearance.
Yep.
How does that break? They know you're coming, obviously. So what's the storyline there, and how do you catapult to where you are today?
Well, nobody, like, I mean, a handful of people in PWA knew I was coming. Not everybody on the roster.
It was a surprise.
Not everybody, not any of the fans. It was a surprise, and that's what we wanted to be.
Fan-wise, because there are different outfits, are there loyal fans to just RCW? Yep. Is there loyal fans to PWA? Or do the just wrestling fans?
A little bit of everything. There's some guys that go to one or two shows, different companies a month. Some go to all the shows. Some like will pick and choose whatever they feel. And then there's some guys that are, I'm only MPW, I'm only RCW, and people that say I'm only PWA.
That's crazy. That's cool. Yeah, because I never enjoy, like I can't say I didn't enjoy, but I was never I never went to any of the indie stuff. I was spoon-fed WWE, WF at the time. I'm wearing my Heart Attack tour for clout tonight. That's so that awesome. You'll respect me. First show I went to.
Paragon of Style, love me that shirt.
Dude, right? Yeah. Anyways, so I'm very mainstream wrestling. So the indie wrestling is new to me, and it's exciting, and it's awesome. So getting to talk to you is super fun. So thank you. So you make your appearance. It's only known to a handful of people. Do you pop? What happens?
So, well, the biggest thing is he had said to me, I want you to be my face commissioner. And like I said, I had that little hiccup, whatever there, but I'd never actually done that. And so I'm coming out to essentially a new audience. There were familiars there that had been to other shows. They knew me, and they'd seen me at all over, here,
but
there.
You hadn't telegraphed it either on your Instagram or your personal life or anything like that.
Yeah, so it basically told me I had to be a good guy. So here I'm sitting. I'm actually kind of nervous, and I'm
waiting. Do you order a new suit for opening night?
Of course I do.
Fuck yeah, that's why I love you, Thad.
I have to have a new suit for. That's a Galaxy suit, the one I wore this weekend, because full circle with everything that happened.
Oh, we're gonna talk. I got a breakdown. I want to know how you helped the referee end the match. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I come out and I'm thinking, okay, how's this gonna go? Are people gonna boo me because they're used to booing me? Yeah. And I had actually a T-shirt in my back pocket, one of my last T-shirts of my last run, and I was gonna hand it off to a kid just as like that cheap, like, see, I'm a good guy. I'm giving a kid a shirt because it was a small shirt, and wrestling fans, why
are
get
not
small
shirts?
Yeah, no. So, but I came out, and as soon as everybody realized it was me, they lost it. The
That's
people
awesome.
that knew who I was and saw that I'd made
How
it
does
there.
that feel? A small town boy wasn't allowed to watch wrestling. Now he's the cream of the fucking crop. How does that feel?
He was getting like the Daniel Bryan yes chant.
Did you have to tape your penis up because you had an excitement boner?
Just tuck it behind the waistband.
100%. That's amazing.
No,
dude.
it was one of like my career highlights. Like that's how I knew. I'm like, this. You kind of made it right.
Yeah.
And then went up in the ring and cut a little promo short and introduced me. And at the time, like Kurt kind of split things off. He had a wrestler that retired that worked for Stampede Wrestling, and he was on, and he lives in Calgary, so he was gonna be the Calgary commissioner, and he needed an Edmonton commissioner.
Love it.
That's why he approached me and said, "Do you want to come in? I got the perfect thing for you." So I started. I was the good guy commissioner, and now I'm doing, and then I'm doing the Arch Report with a whole new set of people, and I'm training a whole new set of wrestlers that I need 2 promos out of you, and I'm in your face, and you have to cut a promo right now. Well, what are we doing? Go. Yeah. And like that was that's my biggest thing is it has to be.
You want the raw.
Improvise. I want raw. Like I don't want your scripted lay things out. Sometimes we'll go over bullet points, but I really think, especially for the younger wrestlers, to get in their face and say, this is what we're doing, and get comfortable. And we can take a couple takes, but you need to just know that
You need to sell it.
You need you just a drop of a hat, cut a promo. Now go.
I love promos. Wrestling promos are my favorite. Did you get a chance? I'm a huge Dean Ambrose, John Moxley fan. Did you get a chance to listen to his Jericho interview?
Of course.
Oh, dude, it was great, right?
Yeah.
And what they're doing over at AEW, I'll ask you all that after, and how he's got an inflamed elbow and he's not fighting Kenny Omega. Did you watch the Kenny Omega AEW Road to Whatever right now?
No, I'm so behind on that stuff.
Oh, dude, it's amazing because Kenny is cutting a promo and then he gets the word that John's not fighting.
I heard that. I started watching it, and then one of the kids said something. I had to go, and I'm like
throwing pens. I'm that excited, Thad.
No, I want to get back to it because I love the production that they're doing and the way they're going about things with
very
AEW.
cool.
Yeah, all those guys.
TNT's coming up in the fall. Oh my gosh, we're gonna get nights. Anyways,
And all the people AEW's bringing out too that like aren't working with WWE. You
Yeah.
know, like they got Jake the Snake doing the new promo for the women's.
Bret Hart
Battle
showed up
Royal.
and had
Yeah,
the belt
belt.
that's all out, and
It's all like respect.
It is.
Like the big thing is people, a lot of these guys and the wrestling fans on Twitter. Nobody hates wrestling more than wrestling fans on Twitter.
100%.
But talking those trash, and it's like he's Dusty's son, and he knows it's just a matter of respect and giving the fans and the wrestlers another opportunity to work.
His fight with his older brother was amazing. It was a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
It was
Match of the year.
wrestling.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And when he took the hammer to the throne too, as the little it was cheese
It
ball.
was cheeseball, but hey.
You loved it.
Yeah.
And Triple H laughed.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, I'm for it. Now his shirt is the throne. It's a thing. Yeah. Anyways, so you're in PWA, your face. You were out this weekend doing some things, managing some wrestlers at a show.
Not managing.
No, you weren't you were commissioning,
Yes.
sorry.
Wink.
You were commissioning. So, it was PWA Retribution.
Yep.
So it was a pretty big show, correct?
Yeah, it was. We have a summer break. We always take August off.
Okay.
Or sorry, we're in August. July off.
Yeah.
So it was a return after the sort of the summer.
Yeah.
And so it was a big show in a way that now we're leading up to. We have Sean Spears from AEW next month, and Fright Night, our Halloween show, is always Halloween themed and big.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of building off that steam at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So in a sense, it was a big show.
So
it
you
ended
were
up being a big show.
It was you made a child cry, sir. Like that should be a career highlight from what I
Bucket list.
understand. So, anyways, last night PWA happens, the heavyweight match. Okay, so I have this written down because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But I read the weekly report on it. So Michael Richard Blaze, he was Blaze.
Yep.
He was the heavyweight champion at the time.
Nope.
Wasn't. He beat Kenneth Anthony.
Kenneth Anthony.
Yeah. He beat him to get the title.
Yes.
He had the title, an hour?
No.
No?
No. Let me run you through it real quick.
Run me through the events that happened.
So, Kenneth Anthony won a title. He had been Michael Richard Blaze. He's been
184 days, I think it was.
No, he wasn't champion at all.
Okay, Kenneth.
No, he had only been a champion for a
I'm
little bit.
ruining it. Go ahead.
Just let me go at it. Yeah. No, so basically, Kenneth Anthony got in recently.
Okay.
And he had something going with Michael Richard Blaze. This is like a mentor. Basically, Michael Richard Blaze mentored Kenneth Anthony into wrestling and taught him everything he knew. And this is, he called him, Michael Richard Blaze is the Western Lions, him and BVD. And he started calling himself Kenneth Anthony the Lion Killer because he is this, snotty upstart that wanted to be the new generation, right?
Gotcha.
So he's going after Michael Richard Blaze, and Michael Richard Blaze has been lately like on an NXT, and did a tour in UK, and he's getting his name out there. He got booked on Joey Janela's Spring Break.
He's gone viral.
Yeah, he's gone viral with a few big clips of things that he's done. So he's this big name, and everyone's loving him, and he's this local, gem that everybody loves. And this little snot-haired kid cut off his hair. They cut his long hair that he had for years. And so they had this sort of thing going, and Kenneth Anthony just happened to get the title. And so Michael Richard Blaze was facing off with him because he's still trying to deal with this little young punk. And they had this big 30-minute match that was just nuts because there's some real emotion between these two guys, legitimately knowing each other and throughout everything.
It was a sharpshooter that ended the match, correct?
I believe so. The sharpshooter was in there at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it was a sharpshooter.
MRB got him to tap with the sharpshooter.
Yeah. And so it all ends, and it's just, like storybook ending. Everybody's like so happy, clapping. And I walk out to the show's over, and people are walking out the door, and I need to get out there, and I walk, like I run almost right out there and grab the mic and just start saying, I'm so happy for you, all your accomplishments you've had lately, NXT and UK and traveling
playing
to
the
UK,
perfect face,
all this stuff. I'm like, you are. I tell him, you are the face of PWA in another era. not my era.
Oh shit!
And to watch, people were walking out the door, and when I say,
did you get one of these memes? Though?
Record scratch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everybody turn around.
Yeah, and just people turn around, like all of a sudden like hunker down or sit back down, and I hear like this, like, wait, what? Huh? What's going on? What's that?
Now you're getting goosebumps because you know what's coming.
And so like I turned to him, and not my era. You're not my PWA champion. Let me introduce you to my PWA champion. And Michael Allen Richard Clark comes out,
who also fought in a tag team match earlier in the night too. Correct?
Four-way
match.
Yeah,
earlier
four-way
in the
match.
night.
Yeah, he had fought at the beginning, literally the first match.
Okay.
Michael Richard Blaze had just been through a 30-minute match.
Yeah.
And I tell the ring announcer and the referee are confused, and I tell them, okay, call the match right now and get everything. So the ring announcer, I guess we're having another match for the title, and I get down and ring the bell myself. And
classic manager move.
yeah, and they have their match, and Michael Richard Blaze, it kind of boiled down to he had Mark in a good spot and did a wicked 450 splash on him.
Yeah.
I grabbed the ref's foot and pulled him out of the ring.
You helped him out.
Yeah,
That's
just
all.
helped
You
him
helping
out. Yeah, he was going to fall out of the ring, and I just wanted to
Exactly.
make sure I caught him and cradled him. And
Because you
while
know
I was cradling him, the title just happened to fall in Michael Allen Richard Clark's hands, and then Michael Richard Blaze just comes running at him and hits him in the head. It just
Totally accidental.
collided, right?
Yeah, no, it happens.
And then 1, 2, 3, and your new PWA champion. My
No, you
good
helped
friend,
you helped the ref get back in.
Oh
though.
yes,
You-
I did.
That's a very
Yeah.
valid.
When
point.
I saw that, the coast was clear, I got him back in, and he counted the 1, 2, 3.
because
and
you're a good guy,
I'm
Thad.
a good guy.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So Michael Allen Richard Clark is my PWA champion. So.
That
And
is
now it is
amazing.
the era of Archer.
How
And,
amazing is that? The era of Archer. Like was that something you had thought of, or did it just come to you? The era of Archer.
I thought of it.
Dude,
my
it's
brain never stops working. There's one reason why I love Michael Richard Blaze. We talk a bit. Sorry, I took away your title, buddy. But
Yeah.
he's like, it's always going. Not just wrestling. Like, Gavin and I will talk to shooting messages back and forth till 3 a.m, coming up with different things we can do. And so it's like I'm always
You
thinking
say
of-
goodnight. No, you say
Yeah,
goodnight.
you go. I love you.
You
no,
hang
but
up.
Even this last week, we were just like, well, what can we do for just something fun? Like, oh yeah, we got the green screen. Let's do something with the green screen. So we did the Wayne's World chroma key spoof.
That's
Nice.
amazing.
yes, that'll be
And
on an
then-
upcoming Archer report.
Yeah,
Cool.
so
That's
we
awesome.
had fun with that. It's always something. What can we play off of on this? Oh shit, so and so is not going to be at the show now. Oh well, that scraps this whole idea.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But it's always fun going through these ideas, because it's all the stuff that you wish that you could see
Yeah.
WWE doing sometimes.
Yeah.
It's well, we can do it now.
Yeah.
Try
we can-
it.
Yeah.
Not everything sticks, but I'm a big throw it against the wall and see if it sticks guy.
Totally.
I've done some horrible stuff on the Archer Report over the 75 episodes it's been in.
You
Some
gotta
stuff
figure it out,
I shake
though.
I shake my head, and then some stuff's it actually kind of gains a bit of a cult. I did one that was a Weekend at Bernie's episode.
That's
Or well,
amazing.
I called it the Weekend at Bernie's. It was
Did someone get knocked
Weekend
out
at
and you
Thad.
just
Well, because at the time I was a general manager of the company, I had this. The ring announcer was kind of like my little bumbling assistant.
Yeah.
And I got hit in the ring or something happened, so I'm sitting there, my head's hurting, and he goes, well, I'll go get something for you, and he got medication from one of the wrestlers, but it was something that's too strong. So
Yeah.
basically I'm out on my feet, and then I'm sitting at the table with people coming into my office,
Yeah.
and I'm out, and so he puts the glasses over my eyes, and he's trying to talk for me and nod and
That's-
bang my head for me.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was fun. The funny thing about that is the fastest episode I've ever. I basically was the end of the night and they were shutting down the venue,
Yeah.
and I the cameraman and everyone included, and I'm like, go now over here, go now over here, and I could. There was 2 more scenes we wanted to put into it. I think would have made it really something I would have enjoyed.
Yeah.
but we got it done in 20 minutes. I couldn't believe how fast we.
That's
filmed
amazing.
That. So yeah, but there's stuff like that. Just
Before I get into more of your YouTube stuff, and I got 2 quick questions, but what I want to do first and foremost is I want to pay the bills, to keep the lights on. ConceptBeardCo.com. You go to ConceptBeard.com, you put in awesome at checkout to save how much, Gavin?
10%.
Holy fucking shit. He's been here twice and he knows, ladies and gentlemen. Why aren't you going to conceptbeard.com and saving yourself 10% by using awesome at checkout? Go buy some beard balm, some oils. Mike's doing it all over there at conceptbeard.com. Concept Beard Co. Put it in your beard.
I just want to say congratulations on your first read through without fucking it up.
It's not my first, but it's definitely one of them. That's for damn sure. Put it down, Mike. I get a bonus. I don't because you're just amazing. But anyways, so back to you, Thad.
Yep.
Back to you, Gavin. Now that the bills have been paid. Question. So you get touring X superstars coming through. Farouk, Hacksaw, Jim Duggan,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
you took a bump from what I understand.
Yep.
Amazing. So how do they fall into the companies in Alberta? Does a certain outfit have rights to them, or it's whoever they approach first, or is the booker reaching out to them? Hey, I see you're in Saskatoon. Do you want to come to Edmonton? How does that work? Can you explain that to me?
Any of the companies, they essentially just reach out to the people and say, do you want to come work here? And it's not, sometimes there is someone, with the big names, it's you just are bringing them in. They're not working a tour and you say, okay, I want to be the Edmonton date.
Yeah.
You essentially just fly them in, bring them in for your show, or if you have a handful of shows. So yeah, it's just the companies I've worked for, with exception to Danny and CWE, he actually tours across Canada.
Okay.
So that's why I'm talking, he's like from Winnipeg, but he's doing shows here. Is what they do is they go from, now it's like Ontario to Vancouver.
Yeah, they'll go.
That's
BC.
Canada, basically.
Yeah, no, they pretty much do everything except the Maritimes.
Yeah,
and
so
like
The Maritimes got their own thing. We're like, we don't need you.
well, they do.
He's just building up.
Yeah,
towards
and he's building up to it eventually.
What is maritime wrestling like?
Yeah.
I bet that's a thing.
That's
Smelly.
a thing. That's a thing. No,
It
there's
is.
a lot of
It's
cod
huge.
slapping.
Yeah, there's like a whole like heart feel from the Maritimes. What's it? Rene Dupree's dad ran Grand Prix. I can't remember his name.
Moondog.
Yeah, and all that sort of
yeah.
stuff. But yeah, so
the
it's just
Vachons were out there too, like back
Yeah.
in the days too, like from Quebec, and they'd move over from there from the Quebec circuit as well. And
That's awesome.
yeah, that's sort of its own little world, and then Western Canada's its own little world.
Yeah.
Like
And when you say
we see a
Western
lot-
Canada, do you mean Vancouver or BC to Winnipeg?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or Manitoba?
Because
Sorry.
you see a lot of wrestlers, especially with the prairie provinces
Yeah.
like Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. A lot of guys kind of go back and forth, so like they can almost work, like every weekend a month working for different companies, right?
Okay.
And so they can get a lot more matches in.
100%.
A lot of driving, but they can get a lot more matches in.
Road
so-
dogs, baby, road dogs. That brings me to my next question. Now that you're the Edmonton commish of PWA, and PWA isn't just Edmonton, it's also Red Deer and Calgary.
Not Red
correct?
Deer.
Not
Nope,
Red Deer.
Not Red Deer. Just Calgary.
Calgary.
Calgary and Edmonton. They have done Red Deer before. They've done a few other shows here and there.
Yeah. And are they usually monthly shows?
Yeah.
So like 1 month Edmonton, 1 month
No,
Calgary.
no.
Or-
Begin sort of like the first weekend. First weekend Calgary.
they're about
and then
2
like-
weeks apart. Each.
Yeah, 2
Okay.
weeks apart, and then 2 weeks later Edmonton.
Will
and then just-
storylines carry over from Edmonton
to
to
a
Calgary?
degree. To a degree. Yeah, like the main stuff all sort of carries over, but
Yeah.
like you don't get into details too much. That's
No.
the one big thing when you work other places. Calgary guys, people follow things on social media to a degree, but
Yeah.
Calgary guys aren't going to know the nuances of things.
Do you
so.
find with social media, the guys don't have to tour as hard? They still have to show up, but they can sell themselves a little bit better to other provinces and stuff? Or if you like a certain wrestler, it's easier to follow them?
Yeah.
Type
Like
thing?
there's a
like
lot
has
of guys.
social media opened the door, as in like the Archer Report and stuff?
Well, the big thing is like these guys can get shown to other places. Like I've seen a lot of guys booked through fans saying like, "Hey, my local place, this guy I saw when I was in Alberta on vacation, and he's great, and he wrestles in Saskatchewan, and I want him to come wrestle in Okanagan." And so guys kind of gauge and see, and it's instead of like you sending in a tape now to someone or writing a letter, you gotta actually like go and follow this guy and get to see his work. And so as a booker, you can be like, "Do I want to pay to bring, this guy in from Saskatchewan or Manitoba?
Is it worth it?
Is it worth
You're
it?
not
Because
getting
skateboard
because
sponsor
you
me
pay
tapes.
trans, you pay for
Yeah.
the gas, and then you pay for their PO at the show. So
Fair enough. Cool. No, that was that was that
Hot
was a
dog and
question.
a
That was
handshake.
Hot dog and a handshake. Hey, do you have local guys that get pissed off when they have to work with the superstars? Like they're kind of throwing them a bone, or is it an honor?
oh, it's an honor.
It's always an honor.
100%
Hey,
an
there's
honor.
never the resentful snot-nosed punk that's like, "Fuck that guy.
No.
He's a has-been." No, nothing like that.
It depends on how
You gotta-
well.
yeah,
it depends on the attitude of
Yeah.
like that
That's
that
true.
star going into the match, and it's like, we had I had Brutus going up against Kyle Sebastian.
That's what you're saying.
Kyle Sebastian, great wrestler here in the independent scene in Western Canada.
But Brutus was
And
a douchebag.
Brutus was like, "No, fuck this. Like, I'm
So,
not doing
okay.
anything. Like,
So
I
the-
want to go over. Like, and we're trying to have it like, no, you're passing the torch kind of
Yeah.
thing. And he's like, well, no, I'm the legend. And
So
was
is it
like-
more common then for the legend then to want to bury local, or
Well,
is there that
and
respect
we had the
there?
whole and like we had the whole gimmick there where like he was gonna get in on the manager and like give the crowd what they wanted.
Yeah.
Right. So that was how we had it because Kyle couldn't cut his hair.
Gotcha.
And but yeah, no, it's tough because some of these guys are totally for like I want to put over
Yeah.
the local guy.
That's
like,
awesome.
And then it's like no, I've had my career.
Yeah.
I've done everything I need to do. Sure, we'll give the fans a pop.
Yeah.
But if it's like a one-on-one singles match, it's usually always them.
So there is that respect there.
There is
then.
a respect thing too,
Yeah.
and it's always they usually can gauge if they're going to put the guy over
Okay.
when they're running through the match.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
talking
cool.
to the guy.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple times things change where it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are those prescription glasses or are those fake?
These are fake.
Fair
So
enough.
my first pair of Thaddeus Archer third glasses were tortoiseshell Ray-Bans,
Yeah.
and they were real,
Yeah.
and they got squished real quick, and so I switched to contacts and the old disposables.
Nice.
And yeah, it's just I've actually been looking towards getting another pair for filming Thad About Town and things that don't require like wrestling stuff,
Yeah.
because these glare way more than actual frames.
Oh, I'm
so-
just looking at you. I'm like, those don't look legit.
no, they're
but
not
yeah.
legit. But I just, after having that break, and I've had so many of these broken. Like, I've literally been rolled out of the ring and had a pair break on me. So I have a big box of them, and they're literally like in the breast pocket of all my suits.
Yeah.
And then I have like 3 in the car, and then
They're just ready to go.
A couple in the briefcase.
Yeah,
the
briefcase.
production case.
Yep.
So you've been the blunt end of punishment, but you also like self-inflicted punishment. I watched an Instagram story last night of you eating a hot pepper. You like hot food, and that's amazing. So that brings us to one of your shows, The Hot Seat.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Hot Ones fan.
Yep.
You can tell by when I turn my interview voice
Yes,
on instead of my shit on me voice.
I love it. I love
Thank
it.
you. I watch a lot of Sean
That
Evans. I like what he
Evans
does.
charm, yeah.
I love what he does and what he brings out. And you like hot food.
Yep.
So you do a show called The Hot Seat. You're about 7 episodes filmed, 1 or 2 released.
Only one released.
Only
One
one?
released. We have 3 in the can.
3 in the can.
3 in the can ready to go. Or no, 2 ready to go.
2 are ready to go. The last one is going to be coming out as soon as we can get that one out. But
How does
I felt that's
how
on
does,
me.
How does Hot Seat happen? As someone who loves Northern Chicken as well, where you just like, fuck, I want to eat some free Northern Chicken, but I also want to sit down with some cool motherfuckers. So how does that happen? How do you two brainstorm that to be like, we can get some free chicken and have some fun and content?
Well, it kind of came out when we were doing the promo for the YEG Pro Wrestling.
Yeah. And
And
that YEG Pro Wrestling happens once or twice a year, correct?
It's only happened once.
Once.
And it
Hopefully,
was-
it's going to happen one more time, and it's
from-
purely charitable.
purely
Yeah,
charitable. That's
100% of everything went to the Kids with Cancer Society.
beautiful.
So everything, like
Big
the
strong men
gate,
giving back.
the 50-50, the silent auction, every
Yeah.
penny went to them. A lot of the wrestlers donated their time,
Yeah.
but they
Yep.
still got a payout from the organizer. He still paid out of his pocket.
That's amazing.
And
So-
they turned around and just gave it back to him.
Yeah, and they just
Perfect.
Yeah,
Guys were just like, no, go
They're
away,
like, yeah,
shut up.
yeah.
Like, this
Yeah.
is,
yeah.
That's
I'm not
awesome.
taking your envelope. Like, it was pretty cool. Like seeing how
It was
really
emotional.
cool.
Like there was something
was,
special,
yeah.
like $35,000 raising
Yeah.
from a wrestling show, and like we all know indie wrestling, and we have tough time getting like 100 people in the door.
Yeah.
Not PWA, mind you, but like just for that to happen, it was a labor of love, especially
Yeah.
by the promoter Mike Cook Media.
Shout out to Mike
Shout
Cook.
out to Mike Cook. And that was the thing is we wanted to promote Mike and give him like a little bit of oomph, and so
and let people know who he was because he's doing like this great community work with this whole event. And,
Yeah.
it was like, well, what can we do to really like put it out there? And like we kind of were throwing around this idea. It's like, well, let's do Northern Chicken because he had done the hot sandwich challenge.
Yeah.
yeah. Did you watch that one?
And and he almost died from that.
Yep.
So then it was like,
That
let's
was
see what they can
worst
do.
ever.
And
That's so great. So you
shout
went
out to Matt and Andrew for being the sadists that they are for
Yes.
making the
Do not
hottest
go in there and
sauce.
challenge them.
Nope.
Because you will regret it,
Yeah.
and they will love it.
Well,
every
you
single
must have
minute of
earned
it.
a little bit of respect because you had a signature hot sauce, the humanoid hot
Still
sauce
got
that
one.
came out.
Got one in
That's
my vehicle.
that's amazing. So how does that happen? How you come to them and they're like, "We like what you're doing. Let's do this. We're gonna come up with some fucking hot sauces
Yeah,
that are
yeah.
gonna grill them." And it's been just a blast from there. Or what?
Well, we knew it was kind of like a take on hot ones.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like
made it our own, yeah.
Yeah, we made it our own, and the thing it's promoting local, which is a big thing between both of us. We're Edmonton boys. Even though I didn't grow up in Edmonton, I was born in Edmonton, lived for a period of time, went to a small town, immediately came back to Edmonton.
What small town, if you don't mind me asking?
Vegreville.
Vegreville.
Vulgarville, as I used to call it in my
Oh,
punk
nice.
days.
I like
Yeah,
it. I
we won't
like
go
it.
there.
No, we
but,
won't. Unless you're going to see a giant Easter egg, fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we talked with Matt and Andrew, and they're so accommodating. And when I did the spicy sandwich challenge with
Yeah.
them, someone caught wind of it. The CBC caught wind of it. Andrea, I can't remember the name.
Is that where I saw the picture that you're a sexual predator that you were talking about?
Yes.
So I did the deep dive on your Instagram,
Yes.
and there's a photo of you in front of the CBC radio headquarters, and one of the tickers.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gavin. Said sexual predator wanted, and you're just like, hey, what's up? I'm like, did you mean to fucking take that photo?
No, I took it
As a father of two, you're like, hopefully not.
No, I took it, and then like I don't remember who it was. I think it was Dave. Like literally, like 5 minutes later, messaged me, and he's like, dude, and just losing his mind. He's like, sexual predator. I'm like, oh, that's got to stay. You know,
That's
a
amazing.
Good little Easter egg. Not many people caught that.
Oh,
so.
I don't want to waste your time here on the Awesome Hour,
Yes.
so I do my homework. So you're doing Hot Seat. You said you love Edmonton local. That brings me to your next show, Thad About Town.
Yep.
How does that happen? You're just like, fuck it, we got free food from Northern Chicken. Let's go get some free Venezuelan food, which I had this weekend at the Fringe.
Nice.
Holy fucking shit, is that
so
amazing?
good.
The name starts with an A. Maybe you can help me. fill it.
Avila Repo.
Avia Reaper.
Avia
And
Repo,
they're
yeah.
located next or right next or near Milo's on 82nd.
10731
82nd Ave.
Second Ave,
Street,
yes.
yeah. White Avenue.
Rolando.
Yeah,
Go-
Rolando.
go and see
Amazing.
Rolando.
El
El Jefe.
Al Jefe is someone that has a gluten allergy, because I'm a nerd that also has an inhaler. When I saw that it was gluten-free and looked that delicious, oh my gosh, I don't know what the fuck it was. It looked like mashed potatoes that they put on a grill, and then they stuffed it full of meat, and it was like a little Sammy with garlic sauce. Oh my gosh, I tell you
It's
what.
it's like a cornbread, basically, is
Fucking
what they did.
It's a little slice
Yeah.
of heaven, I tell you what. So Hot Ones happens. Now you're doing, what comes first? Hot Ones? Or Hot Seat?
Seat, yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm a son of a gun.
I've done it myself.
Or Thad About Town, or about the same time.
Hot Seat.
Hot Seat happens.
Yeah.
Then you're
Yeah.
like, let's take this local.
Yeah,
Let's go
It
more.
was pretty much close the same time too, because we
Yeah,
were
a few months
amping up
later.
for hot seats.
Yeah, you almost
And
said Hot
then-
Ones.
Yeah, I almost did too.
We'll have to have a
And,
little bottle of hot sauce when you fuck up. You
take
take
a
a swig.
shot.
Yeah.
As long as it's not WNFA or
Shitty
or
Wednesday.
Shitty Wednesday.
Oh, that's the final sauce.
5.0 is going to be bad.
Yeah.
Ooh. And yeah, no, it's funny because then we were like, well, we should do these local businesses because my friend Anthony LaRose films E-Town Eats.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, like he's got the restaurant one. And then, like, we can do more than restaurants because there's so much out there of local
Oh, especially
businesses.
Edmonton
Like,
food right
so
now is
many.
blowing up.
So our first episode, we did Clever Rabbit
Yeah.
and
Across the street from Local
Sly Fox.
124.
Yeah,
Make sure you
so-
go check out Local 124.
So we did that one for our first one, and then we just kind of moved down 124th Street, went to a couple other businesses, and pretty much whoever was letting us come in.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And it was funny, like, because when we go to businesses to pitch,
Yeah.
like, some people were so apprehensive about it. It's like,
Because image,
it's like,
I guess.
we're gonna do it free. It's
Yeah.
like free. We'll show as little or as much as you want.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
we can
but-
make this like.
When a guy in a suit that looks like
Yeah.
this walks in and says, "I want to film a thing on you," I can maybe
Do
understand.
you know how
where
to
it's
drop in on a skateboard?
No.
We're going to talk after the show
Okay.
about maybe another episode.
Yes. I would. I all my friends skateboarded growing up.
Yeah.
I tried. I have horrible balance. So
This is amazing.
yeah.
We'll
yeah,
talk after.
yeah.
I might have an opportunity for you, if you're interested. So Thad About Town happens, Archer Report, and the Hot Seat. So you don't have enough going on in your life from being the dynamite manager, the amazing dad, and now this content creator aficionado. What else do you do with your free time?
That's about it.
That's about it?
That's what. Well, be a good dad, and like I always say with wrestling, it's like my hobby that pays.
Yeah.
And it doesn't pay much, mind you.
So
and I
have
go
you,
into the suits,
have you
but-
transitioned from 9 to 5 to full-time commission now?
No, and like the biggest thing is I have a normal job.
Yeah.
And what sort of prompted all this stuff happening? You know, this Thad About Town going crazy. So I got laid off.
Yeah.
Of a job I'd been at for like almost 10 years, and so I had
Thanks,
like.
Notley. Am
Yeah.
I right? No, I'm just kidding. No, the views expressed here on the Awesome Hour do not.
It's actually funny because it all there was a big curb and layoffs after Notley curbed oil production.
Oh,
at the
fuck, I'm
beginning
not-
of the
I don't wanna
year.
get political
No, I'm not
at
getting
all.
political, but it's just funny because like that was the excuse.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, I lost my job. I'm trying to find work, but at the same time, I have all this time on my hands. I cannot sit still. Even when I broke my back years ago, and that's a whole other story. I would
another
I would be
episode.
up in the middle of the night cleaning stuff with my walker because I need to be doing or thinking stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And so Gavin, was mostly working evenings, and we had this time during the day, so that's why we put out a lot. Now, I ended up getting a job. Gavin's been busy with a lot of stuff over in
Yeah,
Chaos,
he doesn't
Alberta,
stop either.
Yeah, he's been busy with a lot of Live Nation stuff and everything. So
Grand Theft Auto. That's not his car he was driving. That's bullshit. Where did he get that? I don't know. He was driving too fast.
He's
I
got
don't
lots
even know.
of connections. That's why I work with him. Everybody's just like, how does Gavin know this guy? How does Gavin have that? And how does Gavin get in here? And I'm like, that's Gavin, man. That's how things work.
That's
just
Gavin.
live with it. But yeah, so we had a chance to do a lot of it. We took kind of the summer off, but I want to get back into doing more. And yeah, I mean, as a dad and having a family and mortgage and everything, I have to have a 9-to-5 job. Ideally, and we've had this conversation, God, if someone could pay me to do Thad About Town or to just be Thaddeus Archer III, I would.
amazing.
Oh, I would be on that like a fat kid on a Smartie, man. Like,
Hey, man. From not being allowed to watching wrestling to being the commission of a wrestling organization, I see your star only rising, sir.
Yeah.
Only rising. It's been great. I want to talk to Gavin for a second before
Absolutely.
we wrap the show up. Gavin, you were here 2 weeks ago, but you've always got stuff going on. You're wearing a new Danger Cat hat.
Oh, yeah.
What have you been up to?
Well, geez. Well, we got Canuck Box getting ready to roll out here.
And what the fuck is a Canuck box besides like
Canuck
a
box?
Canadian vagina?
Oh, I just got sick.
Thank you for going
To be honest, I got sick and fucking tired of sending care packages to my friends in the States.
Just you're tired of buying ketchup Doritos and sending them south of the border.
So I was like, if these assholes who keep making me send these $40-$50 boxes to them like twice a year
fucking
want them
sign
this
up.
bad, there's going to be other people that want them to sign up, right?
So you just said fuck it and you made your
so I
own
just went,
loot
fuck
box.
it. I went and made my own crate company now and got the website getting developed and everything. And
That's amazing. Like when I talked to you 2 weeks ago, I didn't realize what Canuck Box was. I thought Canuck Box was just like where you dump your social medias and stuff. Like it was going to be a hub. And then you sent me the photos of the box. I was like, oh fuck, it's like a loot box, but Canada.
Gonna be a thing.
That's
it's
amazing.
pretty much a thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
dude,
gonna be pretty wicked. Can't let out too much of the
No,
bag
no,
right now, but yeah,
we'll have you back.
I got a few things rolling that are gonna make it really unique and really cool for Canada. So
also on your social media, you've been promoting a little web series called Day One Original Series.
Yeah.
Day One, the
I've seen
original
that.
series.
What's the story about that?
So Day One is a Canadian crime drama series that was shot exclusively here in Edmonton.
That's amazing.
And pretty much a lot of the people that are cast members lived that life.
Okay.
So you're not getting, like some Juilliard trained actors or
Yeah.
anything, like pretending that they're from the streets
Yeah.
dealing with drugs. It's real people. And, it's
Telling their truth.
telling a sort of truth
Yeah.
of, things like, and just basically giving a fictionalized version of a crime, life in Edmonton, right? So
is this going to be a web series then?
yeah, it's gonna be a web series that Anthony had filmed there for about 2 years ago. He filmed it.
Okay.
So he's been working on post-production for a long time, trying to polish this off, make sure it's like the best thing he can put out there.
100%. That's
And,
awesome. And you're involved in the social media,
All the
promotion
marketing
aspect.
and
That's
stuff,
amazing,
helping
dude.
them out because I know so many people that like worked on that project, and I just want to really see it succeed. 'Cause
Dude, that's
it's
fucking
huge,
awesome.
So yeah, and then I'm working on season 2, 5 to 10 now.
Nice.
So that's gonna be really fun. I don't know if you guys have checked out 5 to 10 yet.
If we haven't, what is it?
Well, if you haven't checked out 5 to 10, it's a comedy web series
Yeah.
based in Nanaimo, BC, and it's basically the West Coast's answer to Trailer Park Boys. We
Nice.
have an ex-con named Stuart Jameson who recently has been released,
Yeah.
and he's looking for his new niche in life, and he decides he's going to open a cocaine dispensary.
That's the next step. Thanks,
I mean,
Trudeau.
Because, when he got out, he's like, well, what the hell? Like, weed's legal now? I can't sell dime bags anymore? Like,
That's
you
an
know,
awesome premise.
yeah, so he started a cocaine dispensary against,
I could-
against the advice that he was given by Ed the Sock,
That's
so,
awesome. I feel like I could see that in the news, in weird news, like fucking Tweedledee starts cocaine dispensary,
it's-
immediately goes to jail.
Well, you have to watch and see what happens to him at the end of season, episode 5 in season 1. But season 2, we got some really good ideas that we've been hammering out, and great one for pro wrestling.
Yeah.
So you guys will definitely get a kick out of that one, and I'll let you guys know about that one later. But yeah, been hammering away on that. Did some photo shoots for the Danger Cats for
Saw
their
that.
website.
That's
so,
awesome.
those have turned out pretty good. And
some awesome photos with some pretty ladies and
Yeah.
some bling and bling.
yeah, shout out to
Jewelry.
Kix and DJ Dow Jones at Gold Teeth Canada for those loaner necklace pieces.
He lent you some
Pretty
shit,
nice.
eh?
Oh yeah,
They're good guys. That's where I get my
they're
gold
always
teeth from.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
amazing dudes. And Gold Teeth Canada is one of the executive producers of Day One Series as well. So
Oh,
you know,
way to
it's-
bring it back
yeah.
around, Gavin, you
So-
fucking aficionado.
There you go.
I got 2 separate questions at the end of the show. We're at an hour. I'm going to let you guys plug some shit. But first and foremost, what's your favorite dinosaur, Thad? It's something I ask now.
Favorite dinosaur? It's gotta be Velociraptor, man.
Yeah?
It's-
Is that because you've been spoon-fed how cool velociraptors are, or is that because you like velociraptors?
I just like them.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a bit of spoon feeding in there. I mean, come on, Jurassic
Are you
Park.
biased?
Just because in Jurassic Park, they were the sneaky,
You're
shit
talking
up,
Jurassic
get
Park,
shit
not
done.
Jurassic
Clever
World.
girls.
No,
Clever
yeah.
girls.
Yeah, oh, Jurassic World too, but they're clever. They're the conniving little T-Rex is the big idiot that's bouncing around.
Fair enough.
Or whatever the other dinosaurs they made. They're portrayed as the
Watch out
clever
for the
guys.
big one.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, that's a question I like asking people because
That
nowadays
throws you off,
nobody gets asked
Yeah.
what's your favorite dinosaur. Gavin, I've already asked you that.
Oh, yeah.
So now I want your opinion, being an Irishman that you are.
Okay.
Are mashed potatoes just Irish guacamole?
Oh, you know what? I saw this meme this week and I just died laughing because.
What's your thoughts? And is it racist?
No.
Okay. Phew.
Why would you?
I don't know. I just want to make
Like,
sure we
Jesus,
live in
and-
2019.
And it's funny looking back at all these like old racist Irish like things that like happened in New York and stuff, all these old insults. I'm like, that's not an insult. Like that's what we
truth.
call each other like at
That's
the
a
dinner
compliment.
table. Like when we can afford to have dinner. Like
Heyo. So mashed potatoes.
Mashed
Are they
potatoes.
are they Irish guacamole?
well, they don't even know what guacamole is over there, so they'd just be like, "What? Like, what are you talking? No, they're mashed potatoes. They're mashed potatoes.
I wanted to hear an accent.
Just
and I
put
got
the
it.
butter in.
I was
Just
fishing.
put the butter in right now and just eat it. That's
Thank-
all. That's all they say. They're like,
Thank
what's
you,
a
Gavin.
guacamole?
They'll probably get mad at you. Like,
What,
what the
like-
fuck are you talking about?
Guacamole.
Listen. We don't talk like that here with those
The
words.
Mexican potato.
You know, like
An avocado is a
they-
Mexican potato.
No.
Unless, like
I think so.
There's a giant seed in a fucking, what you call
a
it?
pit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Avocado pit.
There's no fucking pits and potatoes.
You say potato, I
But
say
there's eyes
avocado.
on potatoes.
Tons of eyes. You ever let them grow? You ever mom forgets it in the pantry and all of a sudden it's like a beast?
a
Anyway,
science
I don't
fair
eat potatoes. They're
project,
bad
bro.
for you.
really?
Except for on Fridays. And all the
Yeah,
French
there
fries.
it is. There it is. Thad,
French fries and Lay's potatoes.
Thad, Gavin, I can't say thank you enough. Thad, it was a pleasure to sit down, just be in your aura. Gavin, it's always a fucking blast.
Oh, dude, it's a blast being here, man.
Thad, plug some shit. Let us know where we can find you. You know
All
the
right.
shtick.
Yeah, well, all you got to do is Google Thaddeus Archer III. It's not a very common name. So Instagram. I think I'm on TikTok, but I haven't done much with that recently.
TikTok scares me. I won't let my kid on
There's-
TikTok either.
Yeah, no. My daughter's like, yeah.
no.
I'm like, no.
You're not
You're
doing
12 years
TikTok.
old. You're
I
just
don't
gonna
even
be
have
weirdos on
kids,
there.
and I'm like apprehensive
Yeah.
about
Right?
it for kids.
My
Like,
mother-in-law
holy-
was like, "Don't let the kid on TikTok." I'm like, "Dude, he doesn't have any of
No.
the apps right now."
But Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Thaddeus Archer III. That's my channel. On the channel, we have all the stuff there and kind of segmented. Archer Report every Thursday at 10 a.m. We've been a little off and on over the summer break, but we had a break and I was sort of low on footage. Archer Report might not be out this week at 10 a.m. because I want to get one of our hot seat episodes out because it's been sitting for a bit and I've been negligent on it, and I feel horrible for the lovely people that came and volunteered their time for me to basically
the
feed them
Rye
hot
one?
stuff.
No, Lisa
that's
Baker.
Lisa
Lisa
Baker.
Baker.
Lisa
You
Baker.
gave us an accent
Yeah.
last
Yeah, and
last
then
time.
Lee,
Ryan
she's
Ford,
such
then-
a great episode
I-
with her too. Like
Hilarious. But yeah, there's that. Plug to Northern Chicken as well. They're always happy to help us out. They always put posters up for PWA. And then, of course, Prairie Wrestling Alliance. Look up PWA online. We have shows every month. The next month, we have Sean Spears from AEW, the chairman of the board, as he's
That's awesome.
named now. And I'm excited for him to come back because he was just with us recently. He wasn't the chairman then.
Yeah.
And shortly, a few weeks after that, he took the chair to Cody Rhodes. And so it's going to be interesting to see him come back to see how he portrays himself with the crowd now. Second time around, he's actually our PWA Commonwealth champion. He won the title, and so that's obviously why we wanted to have him come back. So he'll be back at the Northgate Lions Senior Center September 28th. I do believe.
Yes.
And yeah, you can get tickets for that from message me. shoot into my DMs. I'll
Slide in.
slide on in.
At our PWA show sponsors, Variant Edition Comics.
And
shout out to
Pause,
Variant.
the Cat Cafe on 109th Street.
Shout out to the Cat Cafe.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
no, she's wonderful there, Nicole, and they have good coffee. Like
Really good
ridiculously
coffee, yeah,
good
dude.
I have
coffee.
cat allergies. Should I sneak in, get a coffee, and fuck off?
Well,
Yeah,
you
just
can.
call ahead and be like, "Can you bring it to the door? I'll change the cash."
Yeah.
Thad sent me.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
let her know that for sure.
Yeah, and so all that together, and that's about it, I think. I don't know. The head's always spinning with more stuff. I know there's we now have training with PWA.
Okay.
We have our school that's starting. We have a ring that is central. It's sort of down by the Canadian Tire, by
Kingsway, yeah.
And so we have this whole warehouse now, and I want to make a big green screen area for the Archer Report. Maybe even invite Gavin to do some studio filming and photography
fuck off.
there.
That's awesome.
And so I hope to kind of like if that carries on and more people come and have a chance to learn from Michael Richard Blaze, one of the best pro wrestlers, then they can put more into it, and maybe we can get a studio there where we can film all kinds of Archer Report stuff all the time, or even weirder stuff. And I have a web series in mind before I leave that's like Southpaw Regional Wrestling,
Yeah.
but at an indie level, and that's I'm hoping that we get to do
Yeah,
one day
if we
where
can
it's
do it,
it's like
yeah.
wrestling, but completely outside the realm of what
would
independent
know.
wrestling is, like the storylines, any of the characters. It's going to give a chance for people to just
And the
kind of
name
let loose.
It's going to be awesome, too, when
Yes.
we can release that.
We'll see if
so.
that happens. At the same time, I'll always be doing PWA. Happy to be part of PWA and
That's
happy to be
amazing.
part of local wrestling. Push it out to people. It's fun to go to once a year. You know,
Oh,
you
fuck.
go to
I'll be at the next one because I got to see what happens.
yeah, and
I'm in now. I'm hooked.
and it's not expensive. It's cheap.
No, it's affordable. And can I bring my family?
Absolutely.
Of course,
You can bring your
100%
Absolutely.
family friendly. My kids go
Boom.
to the shows. The guys know better. There's some companies in town, they might
Push it.
Push it a
push
little,
it, and blood and certain things that are just too much. PWA has been the most professional and respected company in this city and province for 18 years for a reason, and they want to keep everybody that comes to the show coming back, even if they're coming back just to spit in my face because I broke their hearts.
I know I will be. That's amazing. Gavin, you want to plug some shit?
Puck Hockey.
Puck Hockey.
PUCKHCKY. If you enter the rink on the website there when you're checking out, you're going to get 10% off and
Oh,
free
fuck.
shipping on orders
Oh.
over $100.
What?
So puckhockey.com, PUCKHCKY.com.
They're keeping you looking good, and damn it, that's a hard
damn,
job.
yeah.
Anyways, I can't say thank you enough to the both of you. Thad, you're more than welcome to come back on at any point.
I'd
Come
be
shoot
happy
the
to.
shit. We'll talk Star Wars next time. Gavin, you just keep showing up, and I love it.
Hey, anytime you guys want me down, I'll be
You're the
here, man.
fucking-
I'll be
you
here.
guys, you two, the best. Thank you. I'm Alec.
Chappelle Ivan.
Gavin?
Thaddeus Archer III.
Stay awesome.
That was another episode of The Awesome Hour. You can get all our info at theawesomehour.com. Don't forget to rate and review us, follow our social media, and leave a comment below. Stay awesome.